everybody, and welcome back to Donington Park, and welcome to race 3 for the Burney's V8s. We saw 2 races from them yesterday. Race 1 was made up of the Burney's V8s itself. Race 2 was the TVR shootout. Today, we mixed them all together for their third and final 20-minute race. So we've got 34 cars programmed to join us. We will try and confirm numbers and names for you in a few moments' time once everybody has worked their way out on to circuit. Differing conditions from yesterday as well. We had sort of extreme wet, we had a little bit of dry, and then today we've got that weird greasy bit in between, but still with the threat of rain ever looming here at Donington Park. So we will guide you through the way in which they line up, as we've got a lot of cars to get through. Michael Saunders lines up on pole position with Alex Taylor alongside, 199 and 66 on the front row. Row 2 is Stuart Robb and Tony Blake, 177 and 71. Martin Glennie and Peter Samuels make up row number 3. Row 4 is Bernard Foley and Phil Walker. Alongside that, we have Ollie Rubin, car number 47, and Connor Kay. That's on row 5. Row 6 is Guy Carter and Dave Stewart. On what is row 7 of the grid, Robert Hollyman and Nigel Rubin. Row 8 of the grid is Adam Chodosh and Michael Blake. Tim Davis and Steve Hyde make up row 9 of the grid. Row 10 is Clive Leatherby and Guy Samuels. On to row 11 of the grid, Bruce Carter and Stephen Wells. On row 12 of the grid, we have Peter Ankers and Simeon Chodosh. On row 13 of the grid, it's Jason Andrews and number 22 of Thomas Owen. On row 14 of the grid, is it Simon Roos and Patrick Doyle?
No, it's Simon Roos and it should still be Jake Hinley, but Jake, because his first ever race, has opted to start off the back.
Okay, so Simon Roos on his own on row number 14. Yep. Row 15 is Patrick Doyle and Matt Snowball. On row 16 of the grid, it's Chris Ridge and Gabriel Yilmaz. On row 17 of the grid, it's Jasper Gilder and Chris Richardson. And on the 18th and final row of the grid, all on his own, it's Jake Hinley, as it is. Is it his first race ever?
His first ever race, and he didn't want to start in the main pack. He's opted, rather than to start 28th on the grid, to go off the very back.
So in your first ever race, you pick a Rover SD1 V8.
Rover SD1 with lots of power.
in greasy conditions.
Yes, I like it. I like it a lot. You remember we saw the 360-degree spin for Patrick Doyle yesterday?
Yes.
First ever race that car's done in the wet, the Jaguar E-Type fixed head coupe. Very special car. It's built over in America. It's got a 520 brake horsepower. It's got as much torque as well. It's actually got 2 spark plugs per cylinder in that car.
Just because of the amount of fuel it gets through?
Well, I mean, it's on triple Webers and special cylinder head. There's you see the fixed head coupe just coming down in towards the braking area for the S's now. Very special little car that was built in America, and then they shipped it over during COVID. So yeah, that's a special little car. And I was talking to Patrick and Kevin Doyle yesterday, his father, just saying it must take ages just to set up the fueling on it with the carburation, with it being triple carbs, and of course the fact you've got to get the timing right as well, because you've got 2 spark plugs per cylinder.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's quite the pain, the electricals on it. Are definitely something you wouldn't want to mess with, and the water we've had this weekend, they're probably crossing their fingers that they have no ingress of said water. On the front row, however, there is no Michael Saunders. We saw that car expire yesterday. So do we have Alex Taylor there? Yes, we do. We do have Tony Blake, and we do have Stuart Robb by the looks of it. So it is Alex Taylor all on his own on the front row of the grid. So we look to the red lights, and for the second time today, we will go racing. Red lights go out. It's a great start from Aston Blake. He was somewhat creeping forward. Everybody fans out as they try to find some space on the run into turn 1. The spray kicks up as flames spit out of the exhausts of the pack as they change back down the gearbox. 4 wide on the run through Redgate, and there's a spin in the middle of the pack. It's one of the TVRs that we've got out there. Was there further contact, Mark?
I think there might have been some further contact. We've still got the Griffith facing backwards, I'm afraid, which is Dave Stewart, and thankfully he's now rolled the car as far as he can out of harm's way. Race continues, and as they head down through the Craner curves and down towards the old hairpin for the first time, only now will that stricken Griffith get going So Alex Taylor picks up the lead of the race. There goes the Griffith now. So just light, I think, damage to that car as another car sort of rubbed off it. So he's left himself a chunk of work to do, hasn't he, Dave Stewart, now right at the tail end of the field.
He has indeed. I saw Steve Wells trying to get the car slowed down on the running towards the old hairpin as they pick their way through what proved to be a tricky part of the circuit yesterday through Schwanskirchen and McLean's. We saw a number of cars making their sort of single mistakes that they would make all race, all the way up at that section of the circuit where we get closer to the airport, and the aviation fuel makes the surface quite slippery. It's already quite greasy today, but the field work their way along the exhibition straights once more, and now we may see a change, because pushing on is Peter Samuels. Did he get the move done? No, he didn't. That's for the final spot on the outright podium. Aston Blake at the front of the order is sat there in second place. Alex Taylor somewhat safe in the lead, but as for Peter Samuels, he wants to get onto the outright podium.
He does, yeah, and he's trying to dispose Martin Glennie of that position at the wheel of the number 5 car that currently occupies third place. So it's Tuscan from Tuscan from Tuscan, from MGB GT, from MGB Roadster at the moment. So Peter Samuels had problems yesterday, didn't he, with his car retiring out on circuit. It sort of stopped for no obvious reason, and that actually brought about a safety car. So he is the fastest of the MGs at the moment, but he's coming under pressure from Phil Walker, who at the wheel of the MGB V8 Roadster tries to draw himself alongside, but can't quite get there. So it's still Peter Samuels in 4th. It's still going to be Phil Walker in 5th place, and 6th is going to be Bernard Foley, isn't it, all the way from Scotland to race with us this weekend.
Yeah, Bernard Foley I would say trying to close in, but he's more or less watching it unfold in front of him, because once again we see Peter Samuels close in on that of Martin Glennie as they meander their way down the Craner curves in towards the old hairpin, and you can just tell Peter Samuels wants to be the first of the non-TVRs, dives up the inside of Martin Glennie, but with a bit of a wobble on the exit from Martin Glennie, that opens up the door. Through goes Peter Samuels. Are we also going to see those cars behind go through as well? It's
great, isn't it? When you've got big, powerful cars that have more power than grip, it's good to see. But when they're then trying to contain those cars on what is a greasy circuit, the drivers really have got their work cut out. There is no respite at all at any point, even down some of the straights. You know, as we saw in qualifying yesterday, even down the start-finish straight, we were getting wheel spin from some of the cars when they were up in 4th gear almost. So, brilliant race. Alex Taylor leading the way and pulling away all of the time. Martin Glennie potentially going to lose a further place from Phil Walker. So Phil Walker tries to draw himself alongside, but he's not going to get there by the time they get in towards the braking area, and that's just allowing the silver car in the background as well to begin to close up, which is the number 21 car in the hands of Bernard Foley, who claimed the win, didn't he, in yesterday's race? That's largely because he might not have been the quickest car out there, but he's the only one that didn't have a spin or make a mistake in yesterday's tricky conditions.
Yeah, he managed to keep the car on the road. So late on the brakes, however, further up the road, it was a huge look up the inside. Phil Walker trying to dispatch of Martin Glennie, who gets all out of shape on the exit, but still somehow manages to put the power through the rear wheels and just about holds on to 4th place. We've already seen over the line our race leader, the number 66 of Alex Taylor. Tony Blake is running around in a rather quiet 2nd place. However, I think he's being hunted down by Peter Samuels. Lap time would indicate so, 2/10 quicker. As for the race leader, Alex Taylor, 1 minute 54.515. That's exactly the time that he will want, since he's now 5.2 seconds clear at the front.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on Peter Samuels. He's closing in on Tony Blake. So the leading MG, that sits there in 3rd place, is slowly edging up onto the coattails of the 2nd place TVR Tuscan. Martin Glennie in 4th place, still with his hands full. He's still got Phil Walker and Bernard Foley right behind him at the wheel of the number 83 and 21 MGs respectively. Then just outside of the top 6 in 7th place, it's going to be the number 88 car, which is Steve Wells. He's made good progress from 22nd on the grid. And another car that's made really good progress is the 01. That car had problems in qualifying yesterday, so Chris Richardson started 34th. He's up to 18th at the wheel of the AS-car.
Yeah, he is indeed. As now we watch him dive on the brakes in towards the old hairpin. You supposed to talk about?
No, I just the size of the wing mirrors on that car. It looks like he's towing a caravan behind him, doesn't it? He's got the great big wing mirrors. Wasn't quite designed to have those kind of wing mirrors, was it, the AS-car?
No, not at all. But still very, very quick indeed. Carving his way back through the order is that of Dave Stewart, who had the spin on the opening lap. Well, I think it was an assisted spin. He started in 12th, but where he spun, I don't think he was in 12th. I think he was a victim of his own success. He was almost up in towards the top 6 and just got caught out on the opening lap of the race. The next car that he will meet will be Adam Chodosh as they work their way along the exhibition straight, side by side with one of the TVR Tuscan Challenge cars, round up the inside of them both, later on the brakes. Dave Stewart, he's not hanging around, but unfortunately we've lost Martin Glennie from the battle we were watching on, and that car has dug itself into the gravel down at the old hairpin.
He has, yep, so yellow flags down at the old hairpin, I think that is, for number 5 car. Martin Glennie going no further. I think he's just about stopped the car before he's gone in towards the barriers. So they all had a race separately yesterday, all the MG V8s, oh sorry, all of the Bernese V8s racing separately to the TVR, so we lumped them all together today. And sideways coming out of Redgate corner, and we saw somebody and we got a spin, and that's Guy Samuels, isn't it? And that is on the run up towards Schwantz Curve. He's had the spin, I think.
Yeah, Guy Samuels with damage on the front right as well, which makes you think, did he eventually find the wall, or was it contact with another car? He gets going just as the leaders go through. Ollie Rubin, who was star of the TVR shootout yesterday, you could still hear him struggling for gear and struggling for grip. You said that, or he said while speaking to you yesterday, he just short shifts to 4th. If he was short shifting to 4th, he's still getting wheel spin in 4th gear. It's very impressive indeed. Still carving his way through the order is Dave Stewart. The next car he will meet will be Connor Kay on the exit of the old hairpin. Up the hill, a bit of a wobble from Connor Kay. Dave Stewart goes to the outside, which is very, very brave indeed, through Starkey's Bridge. Up towards Schwantz Curve they will go. And now to the inside, and they're still side by side. Connor Kay is just not willing to let Dave Stewart through.
No, he's not going to let him through at all, but I'm sure Dave Stewart will be able to unpick him somewhere, and it's going to be on the run up towards Coppice Corner where he is able to sneak his way through. So place gain for Dave Stewart, and Connor Kay therefore will just settle back into his position again once more. So Dave Stewart continually picking up the spots.
Figured out where Martin
Glennie's car's down at Melbourne Hairpin, isn't it?
It is down at the Melbourne Hairpin. He's gone through one of the polystyrene sort of brake boards, or the marker boards, so he's maybe lost it quite early, and the yellow flag presumably then was for Guy Samuels down at the old hairpin. Back over the start-finish line, we've had our top 2 already. Continuing to extend that lead margin now is Alex Taylor, so he's 10.9 seconds to the good. It's going to be Tony Blake running around in second place, who's 5.5 seconds clear of Peter Samuels behind, albeit has now started to extend that margin. So Peter Samuels losing a bit of time in the MGB V8 Roadster. As for the 88 machine, you've spotted another spin as well. That's for the number 79 machine that's gone missing.
Jasper Gilder, that's the exit of the old hairpin. So he should be able to get the Chimera back onto the circuit, but he's trying to scrabble along on very wet grass as things currently stand. Fantastic shot of the Ford Mustang heading towards us under enormous pressure from the Plymouth Barracuda. So that's the number 48 car, which is in the hands of Matthew Snowball. They had a barbecue last night, Bernese V8s, and I heard one of the drivers ask Matt Snowball, because it was really wet, wasn't it, yesterday, how did HMS Barracuda get on in the wet conditions? It is a big old beast, isn't it, that Barracuda?
Yeah, it really is. It's a lot of Plymouth to try and slow down. Downhill in towards the yellow flag zone at the Melbourne hairpin. Everything remains under wraps, as you should expect. They do have that of Jake Hinley, who started back in what was 34th place. Where has he got up to? He's got up to 26th place, which isn't a bad rate of close on those cars up the road. As for Matt Snowball coming out of the final corner, he's got to be so tentative on the throttle, get the car straight, and then worry about putting your foot to the floor. Jake Hinley, he's under pressure from losing out to Tom Owen here. Tom on the extreme outside on the run towards turn 1. Recovery effort still going on with Martin Glennie.
Yep, so Martin Glennie's car now out of the gravel trap down there at the Melbourne hairpin. The telehandler is getting him out of harm's way. How long have we got left on the clock? Just over 10 minutes. Alex Taylor leads by a very impressive nearly 14 seconds now. 13.9 seconds is the gap from first to second place. Tony Blake still there in second place. Peter Samuels in third position. And fourth now, it's going to be the light blue MGB GT that sits there in fourth place. And that is a car that has, again, made some good progress through the order, is it not? Yeah,
Steve Wells doing what he needs to do and starting to apply the pressure on to Peter Samuels. Down the Craner curves they will go, and we've had a spin into the gravel for the 461 Jaguar E-Type. So unfortunately for Patrick Doyle, does he manage to dig that car out the gravel on the run through McLean's? I think it's to the point where it has effectively dug a hole for itself. Steve Wells still applying the pressure onto Peter Samuels. They close in on the yellow flag zone, so they will have to slow down somewhat and resume their fighting on the run towards Coppice Corner. Patrick Doyle has managed to dig the E-Type out of the gravel and continue on, but he's still up at that section of circuit where we saw a lot of drivers get caught out yesterday.
Good move there, sneaking up the inside. The number 69 car of Tim Davis managing to gain the place over the 89 car that he was able to sneak his way through and past. And you can see again still Ollie Rubin exactly how much he's having to fight the number 47 car as it's weaving around under braking heading in towards McLean's corner. He's having to work overtime, isn't he, to keep that car pointing in a straight line. Number 99 car's worth mentioning as well. We saw that car driven by Stephen Wiggins yesterday. It's Steve Hyde that drives the TVR Tuscan today. Steve was a front runner in the TVR Tuscan Championship back in the 1990s. He finished third overall in the championship back in period.
Was indeed. Steve Wells now looking to try and take third place away from Peter Samuels. He gets a really good run coming out of the Melbourne hairpin on the brakes on the run in towards Goddard's. They are absolutely together. Who is it going to be that appears first in the fight for what is third place? They appear absolutely together, absolutely side by side. Peter Samuels holds on to it for now. Ollie Rubin really soaring at the controls. Brilliant cutback from Ollie Rubin. He saw Tim Davis coming. As Tim Davis got a problem,
I think he missed the gear.
He just didn't seem to leave the corner as quickly as he would have liked. So Ollie Rubin, for now, will hold on to what is 7th place.
Safety car is coming out with 7 3/4 minutes to go. And is there any obvious signs as to why the safety car is out? We've had Martin Glennie's car removed from where it came to rest. I can't see anything for the bit of the Fogarty S's that we can see. There's no obvious signs of anything at McLean's or at Coppice. Can't see anything on the way in towards Redgate. I think it must be down through the old hairpin, isn't it? And the crane curves potentially where we've got something.
I think that's a gap in the barrier for the recovery unit. So exactly why is yet to be discovered. Maybe one of our camera operators out there in the slightly wetter conditions. So thank you for the work that they do with us, as we simply wouldn't be able to see half the circuit that we usually would. And we're hearing that they can't see anything either. So trying to figure out exactly the cause of the safety car. Maybe something has been spotted, a piece of bodywork or something that could pose a threat. But whatever's going on, the safety car is there with its lights ready to pick up the leader, which is just coming towards Goddard's now. So Alex Taylor coming out of the final corner any moment now. The safety car will begin rolling, pick up the leader, and hopefully we can shine a light onto exactly why we have the safety car.
Yeah, so not entirely sure why we've got that safety car out there. I mean, it may well be that it's something through the Fogarty S's where somebody's knocked the tyre stack and it's now pushed it into a position that's no longer deemed as being safe, something like that potentially. So safety car picks up our race leader, Alex Taylor. So what was a very sizable lead is going to shrink to not a great deal at all. I think it must be through the Fogarty S's where we've got something, because we've got a driver stood crash helmet in hand, but the whereabouts of his car we don't know, and therefore we can't identify the number.
That's Gabriel Yilmaz,
is it?
That we spotted. So his Ford Maverick is nowhere to be seen. I can't see it, at least from our position, but Gabriel Yilmaz, clearly has brought around brought about a localised yellow flag, and it's been deemed that they need to neutralise the race for now. Yep, the high-up crane or the telehandler on its way to pick up the car of Gabriel Yilmaz in towards the Goddard's hairpin. That will go, but the field will still run around behind the safety car. Gabriel Yilmaz, probably not over the moon.
No, not at all. Yeah, Metin Yilmaz drive that car yesterday. We're used to seeing both of them racing a Porsche, aren't we?
Yes.
In other series and championships under the control or organisation of MSVR, MSVT as the case may be. But yeah, Ford Maverick, which first time I've seen them race the Maverick before. Don't see many Mavericks racing this side of the Atlantic, that is absolutely for sure. So just to run you down through the order then, whilst we remain under safety car, number 66, Alex Taylor, leads the way. Now, yes, the lead advantage has shrunk or will do through this safety car period. But the one really good thing for Alex Taylor is there is some back marker traffic between himself and the car in second place, Tony Blake, and that traffic will not be able to be overtaken by Tony if we get the race back underway until the start-finish line. So Alex Taylor should be able to get a really good launch, knowing full well that he's going to have an advantage over Tony Blake, who won't be able to overtake the slower traffic until they reach the start-finish line. So 66 leads, 71 is second. In third place, it's the first of the MGs, which is number 87, Peter Samuels. Fourth is number 88, Steve Wells. Fifth is 83, which is going to be Phil Walker. So it's MGs, third, fourth and fifth, and sixth as well, because number 21, Bernard Foley, completes the top six. It's back to a TVR in seventh place. It's number 47, Ollie Rubin. Eighth place is number 69, that's Tim Davis with his Tuscan. Ninth place is number 99, which will be Steve Hyde. It's still showing on our screens as being Stephen Wiggins, but Steve Hyde, I was told, will be driving that car. There is the Ford Maverick, and it's been dealt with by the telehandler. And completing the top 10, it's another TVR, it's car number 95, that will complete the top 10. And that's the car of Dave Stewart. That's the car that had the spin at the first corner, and he's all the way back to 10th place.
Yeah, this safety car could just about play into his hands. I was thinking about the battle between Peter Samuels and Stephen Wells. Those two are together. They have no traffic between them. They appear into our sight on the exit of the Fogarty S's and are absolutely nose to tail. So that will undoubtedly re-emerge, that battle. We also need to bear in mind the battle between Phil Walker and Bernard Foley. There's no cars between them and the cars behind. As for Ollie Rubin, he's got Tim Davis behind him with no cars separating him. So we could be on for some really good battles going on to the final sort of couple of laps of the race.
If we can get any more racing in is the problem, because we've now only got 2 3/4 minutes of this race remaining. And the lights are off. The safety car, right, lights are off, right, so we are going to get racing. We're just going to we might even get 2 laps out of this one, possibly. Depends when Alex Taylor comes over the start-finish line, really. Is he going to go for it as yet? Yes, he goes for it now, and as he comes over the start-finish line, he should be lapping about 1 minute 50s, 1 minute 55s. There's 2 minutes and 20 on the clock still as he comes over the start-finish line, there or thereabouts. So, penultimate lap of the race, Alex Taylor sprints away, and of course, Tony Blake cannot overtake the rest of the pack until the start-finish line. Other drivers, though, are overtaking before they reach the control line.
Yeah, Stephen Wells managed to not only work his way through and past some lap traffic, but also got through and past that of Peter Samuels prior to the start-finish line. Into the pit lane will come Rob Holliman in the Porsche, so not confident that that car will complete the race. But Steve Wells, he might have a post-race talking to.
Yep, so the number 88 car at the moment showing as being in third position. But in reality, the position should not have changed when they came over the start-finish line, and our timing screen is showing he gained 1 place on that lap. Well, the lap was under safety car, so he shouldn't have overtaken until the control line, and he might have just misjudged his acceleration relative to Peter Samuels, but he has picked up third place on the road for the moment. So up towards McLean's Corner goes the number 88 car. Still lots of traffic to deal with. Peter Samuels looking to try and feed his way through the traffic. The Plymouth Barracuda in the hands of Matt Snowball, still being wrestled around the circuit. I mean, that car must be difficult to drive in the dry, in the wet. I'm guessing you just leave it in fourth gear and let the torque pull it through the corners.
No, you can imagine so. And Simeon Chodosh will be looking at his rearview mirror, and there won't be anything in it other than Plymouth Barracuda. In a straight line, the Plymouth does manage to stretch its legs. Look at the spray that's now being kicked up. Has the rain come back over that side of the circuit? I think it has, Mark. I think the rain has come back quite strong.
It has, yeah. You can see it really coming down now.
Yeah, lots of spray and a very, very congested section of circuit. You just spotted
Dave Stewart gaining more places. The car that had the spin on the first lap has now got himself ahead of Phil Walker. So it's been a brilliant recovery drive from Dave Stewart, who is now braking as late as he can in towards the Melbourne hairpin at the wheel of the red Griffith with black stripes down the centre of it. It's a very congested part of the circuit, isn't it, down there at the Melbourne hairpin currently, as over the start-finish line has already gone Alex Taylor onto what will be the last lap of the race.
Will be indeed. Ollie Rubin with a big moment coming out of the Melbourne hairpin. We've got, as Mark said, Alex Taylor heading on to his final lap of the race. Still has Tony Blake in second place. Steve Wells is third on the road. Tim Davis picked up 3 places on the resumption of the race. Dave Stewart picked up 4 places. Dave Stewart's up into 6th place. He was off the very, very tail end of the order. What a brilliant race it's been from Dave Stewart. As for Alex Taylor, he's doing everything he needs to just to control this race from the front, and the safety car he won't be over the moon that his lead started to shrink, albeit the traffic that he had between himself and Tony Blake was very, very helpful indeed. But what a brilliant lap that was from Dave Stewart. The next target for him will be that of Tim Davis, and that's 1.7 seconds up the road, so we'll see what Dave Stewart can do. Can he get inside the top 5? Steve Wells now back under pressure. We've got a car off in the gravel at the old hairpin. I think that's the 99 of Steve Hyde that's found himself in the gravel down at that section of circuit. So on the final lap anyway, that will be dealt with post-race. And jumping out of the car and running back towards the marshals is Steve Hyde. However, onto the Melbourne Loop for the final time comes our race leader, Alex Taylor, on the brakes downhill in towards the Melbourne hairpin, and will just be keeping that car within the white lines and being so gentle on those inputs to make sure he doesn't spin on the very final lap of the race. In towards Goddard's for the final time. Tony Blake isn't too far away, just didn't quite have enough to apply the challenge. But for the final time out of Goddard's will come Alex Taylor, and race number 3 of the mixed Bernie's V8s and TVR shootout goes the way of Alex Taylor. It will be Tony Blake that crosses the line to finish in second place overall and second in the TVRs. The first of the MGs and the Bernie's V8s comes through. It's Steve Wells on the road in third, followed then by Peter Samuels over the line in what is fourth place. Who will it be next? Will it be Tim Davis? Will it be Dave Stewart? It will be Tim Davis who will just get to the line first, ahead of Dave Stewart. So Tim Davis in 5th place, followed by Dave Stewart in what is 6th place. Over the line in what is going to be 7th place, it's Phil Walker, followed by Bernard Foley in 8th place. 9th place will go the way of Chris Richardson, who started the race in 34th place. He finished in 9th. And Ollie Rubin rounds out your top 10. Connor Kay over the line in 11th place, and unfortunately we did lose Steve Hyde on that very final lap of the race, so he will continue to drop down the order. But what a brilliant race that was from the combined Bernie's V8s and TVR shootout. And it proves that yesterday, whilst you can have a brilliant race of just TVRs or just the Bernie's V8s, you mix them all together and you end up with a really, really close race. Not only a sort of inter-class race, but an inter-series race as well. It was very interesting in changeable conditions as the rain continues to fall and has got heavier just prior to our next race. So Mark is running down there, and I'd imagine getting rather soggy indeed. But we can guide you through some of the results. It was Alex Taylor that took the win ahead of Tony Blake. Steve Wells over the line in 3rd place, followed by Peter Samuels in 4th. Tim Davis finishes in 5th place ahead of the number 95 machine of Dave Stewart. What a brilliant race that was for him. In 7th place, car number 83, that being Phil Walker ahead of Bernard Foley. Chris Richardson over the line in 9th place, and Ollie Rubin rounds out your top 10. Connor Kay over the line in what was 11th place ahead of the 761 Bruce Carter. Guy Carter, pardon me, that finished in 12th place. Car number 58, that of Clive and Sam Leatherby, finished in 13th place. 14th place was car number 54 of Chris Ridge. In what was 15th place, it was the first of the Chodosh brothers. It was Adam Chodosh that finished in 15th place, and in 16th place, the 565 of Bruce Carter. In 17th place, it was the 151 of Michael Blake, classified in 18th for now as Steve Hyde. Unfortunately, we lost him on the very final lap of the race. Pete Ankers finished in 19th place, and to round out your top 20, it was Simeon Chodosh in his Chevrolet Corvette. The fastest lap of the race went to our eventual race winner, Alex Taylor, 1 minute 3.701. But down there in Parc Ferme, and I should imagine with an Alex Taylor already, is Mark, but also rolling down the pit lane now is Tony Blake, Steve Wells, and that of Peter Samuels. So you should have a couple of drivers heading back down towards you now, Mark.
The number 66 car towards the podium and is about to jump out of the car. Aston Blake is here, ready to... Oh, he's putting the brolly over me. Thank you, Aston. I'm going to get wet anyway today, so it doesn't matter, but thank you very much. His father, Tony, has just brought the car home in 2nd place. As we say, 3rd on the road is Steve Wells, so we'll chat to him on the basis that he took the checkered flag in 3rd. And then any subsequent adjustment to those positions can be sorted post-race. So Alex is already out of the car. He's got the flame-proof overalls on, but it looks like he's just come out of a go-kart when you race it in the wet, because he's got waterproofs on top of the flame-proofed overalls. And you needed those waterproofs, Alex. It looked a bit wet out there.
Do you know, it wasn't too bad. I was expecting worse going into it, looking at the radar. But yeah, it was fine out there. Got some good tyres on the car. Yeah, nice. Enjoyable. Shame, we seemed to lose Stuart Robb early on, and I was hoping for a bit of a dice between the three of us there. But it did not come to pass, unfortunately.
You told me last night when we were sort of enjoying the hospitality of Bernie's V8s and their barbecue, that you'd got some good tyres on. You got good wets on and still have got some good tyres from yesterday, whereas others you knew had worked theirs harder.
Yeah, I think a lot of the other guys are on racing wets, which when it dried out yesterday got eviscerated. Whereas ours, because we normally race in categories where you have to have road tyres, these are road wets, which means that they seem to last a bit longer. So they're good in the wet, but last in the dry.
Good weekend on the whole.
Very happy. Mark, we must keep meeting like this.
We've done it a few times this year. I'm your good luck charm. Well done. Well done. Let's grab a quick word with Tony Blake if we can. Tony, it was wet yesterday when Aston was driving the car. It was equally as wet for you.
It was wetter today, I think. It was a challenge, definitely, but it was all about tyre choice today, and we made the right choice. I think there was some debate in the paddock about the tyre choice, but we got it right. Yeah, the Pirellis are pretty good in the wet, to be honest, so good. It's good.
Just how difficult, though, is it to tame one of these beasts around a wet Donington?
Well, it's an absolute beast, to be honest, absolute beast. You've got to be a proper bloke to drive one of these. Not really, no. This is an absolute darling to drive. We love it. It's nicely set up. I think Alex's is too, and we love driving it, to be honest. It's great fun.
When the safety car came out, you must have thought, oh, I'm going to catch Alex back up, but frustratingly, there were several back markers between you and him.
Yeah, that was a bit of a challenge, and obviously you can't pass until you cross the start-finish line, so Alex was away at that point, but a bit of a challenge, but it was okay. I think it did a few around Redgate and through Hollywood, so it was a challenge, but the car was good, stayed on the track, kept it clean, and brought it home in one piece.
Well done, well done. And let's grab a quick word with Steve Wells if we can. Steve's just over this way, so we're going to grab a word with him on the basis that he was third on the road, so... Oh, he's jumping out of the car, is he? So we'll grab a quick word with Steve. Steve, third on the road, first MG home.
Yeah, well, yes, I've just been told I might have got a penalty. I don't know, but we don't know.
We were wondering the same, because you did gain a place over Peter Samuels before the start-finish line on the restart after safety car.
Oh?
But it was a good race, you know, with where you came from on the grid.
Lights out, and that was it. I just went. So it was a good race, and I mean, Peter and I were neck and neck, so it was quite competitive. So it was a lot of fun, quite slippery, very hairy at times, but no, I'm glad I got back from the back of the pack as it were and got through it, so that was nice.
From 22nd on the grid?
Yeah, I don't know, how's that? Beats yesterday for going from back to front to back again.
Well done, well done. Either way, it's a great drive regardless of the ultimate result. So that's it from Bernie's V8s for the moment. Thanks for joining us from Donington Park. Hopefully we'll catch up with them again later on this season.